Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm on today live to chat about oils, essential oils for inspired action. So, do you kind of feel like you had all these really great New Year's resolutions, and now here it is, the beginning of February, and you're really kind of starting to not be quite sure as to where your action is going? Are you really creating that inspired action where you're actually shooting for your New Year's resolution goals, or do you kind of feel like you're hitting a wall? Because that tends to happen, right? When we make goals, or at least I tend to get really excited at the beginning of setting goals, and my action is all mapped out for me. But once I get kind of going with that, I ultimately, and I think this is kind of human nature, we ultimately hit that wall and we start to see a slump in our action towards our goals. So, what I did this last week is I scanned myself, and I'm going to chat about kind of what that looks like. But I scanned myself for some really interesting oils. It pulled out some really my scan pulled out some really interesting oils, and I can absolutely attribute it, all of them, to the idea that my personal New Year's resolutions are waning and I'm having trouble kind of pulling those goals toward me. So, just real quick, for anybody who doesn't know me yet, my name is Hillary Wolf, and I am a doTERRA wellness advocate, and I work with individuals to find freedom in every aspect of their lives with essential oils and relationship building and personal growth. So, like I said, I scanned myself. So I have a personal handheld, this is it, it's my iTovi scanner, and what a scanner does when we're thinking in terms of essential oils is it actually picks up on your unique and personal electromagnetic energy. So we're basically just big balls of energy, right? Well, if you think about essential oils, so are essential oils, because it's all chemistry. So what this scanner does is it reads my personal energy, and then it decides based on the essential oils that doTERRA specifically has. It decides what oils you're lacking and what oils you're needing. So I'm going to go through the oils that it picked up for me, because it was really interesting, because the reason I scanned myself was actually because I was kind of feeling a slump. I was really excited at the beginning of the year to get moving, and within 3 weeks I had hit my wall and I had hit my slump. So I scanned myself, and here's what I scanned for. So I'm going to talk about what the oils were that I scanned for and how they relate to inspired action. So the first one, number one, was red mandarin. And for anybody who works with doTERRA, this was kind of a special. It came in a 5 milliliter bottle with 2 other kind of citrusy oils. But red mandarin is actually the oil of childlike perspective. So if we're thinking about goals and New Year's resolutions, or just being an entrepreneur on our own, the oil of childlike perspective really helps deal with, on an emotional level, it helps deal with the feelings of feeling overwhelmed, feeling stressed, feeling discouraged. And here I have these huge, humongous goals. And again, we're human. So as a human in this physical being, I wanted to see results right now. And after 3 weeks, of course, I wasn't seeing results right this second. So with red mandarin, when I put it in the diffuser in the morning, I can actually look forward to a more positive perspective, potentially, and taking joy in simple moments. And with all of these that I'm going to cover for inspired action, I've been putting them in the diffuser. I've been putting a handful of them in the diffuser every morning. And I can honestly tell you that I'm feeling more, over the last maybe week and a half, I'm feeling more present. I'm feeling happier. I'm feeling like I'm able to get rid of the things that really aren't serving me very well. So red mandarin was the number one that came up for me, and it's the oil of childlike perspective. So that's really going to help me dive in, because I honestly love what I do. But when we start to pick apart the different pieces of our day and what we have to do, or what we feel like we have to do, it might not really feel like play anymore. It might feel like a job now. So with the oil of childlike perspective, I feel like now I'm getting to jump into the really fun stuff, and I'm getting excited for stuff that maybe before was feeling like like pulling teeth. Like I really didn't want to do it, but I knew I had to because it was on my to-do list. And now it actually is starting to feel really fun. The next one that came up for me was Douglas fir. So for any of you who have worked with any of the fir oils, so white fir, Siberian fir, even Douglas fir, they're all similar in what they can achieve emotionally. And that has to do with generational issues. So past patterns that may not be working for you, that you may feel like you're getting stuck in. And I know for me, right before the first full moon of the year, I noticed that I was really ready to make a change in how I was managing each and every day and how I was managing myself. So Douglas fir totally made sense to me. In the last couple weeks, I've actually pretty much completely stopped drinking alcohol so that I can feel more focused and feel more present and not even feel a little bit of a hangover the next morning, even if I just have 1 or 2 glasses of wine. The Douglas fir, I think, in the diffuser is really helping me to make a shift from that feeling of, yeah, but I've done this before. I've done it for, weeks and months and years, and this is just normal for me. Clearly that's not working for me. So with the Douglas fir, I honestly think that's helping me move toward a healthier way of self-love, self-care, and basically building my own personal growth and building my business on top of that. And just real quick, Douglas fir is the oil of generational wisdom. So again, it's looking at past patterns. It's looking at maybe habits that you've seen family members take on, or that family members or parents took on when you were a kiddo. So you feel like that's normal. And now with Douglas fir, you get to kind of move away from that. What else? The next one that came up for me was tangerine. And I love tangerine and I love red mandarin because they're citrus oils. So all citrus oils are going to be really uplifting and then at the same time really grounding. So just a real quick side note, when I was in high school, I had no idea what essential oils were. I was on the cross country team, and before every single race, my best friend and I would peel an orange, just take a quick piece of the peel off of an orange, and we'd pass it around and we'd smell it. Well, did you know that with all citrus oils, the essential oil is actually in the rind of those citrus oils? So little did I know that taking this orange, peeling it, and then passing it back and forth between each other before we had a race was actually me smelling the citrus oils and getting that uplifting and motivating feeling. So with anything citrus that seemed to show up for me, it totally made sense and really raising my vibration and making me want to move forward with what I was doing. And I have everything in the diffuser now, and it feels like a big, huge, warm hug. So tangerine is awesome. And it is the oil of cheer and creativity. So when I'm coming up against a lull or a wall with my goals or my motivation, my creativity really seems to wane and it really seems to suffer the most. So anything that has to, or that helps boost that creativity is going to be my definite reach for. So I thought this one was really interesting that I scanned for this one because I really had been feeling a block against, well, I don't know what labs I want to do. I don't know what classes I want to teach. I don't know what programs I want to put on. I don't even know who I want to reach out to. And now I feel like everything's really just flowing and I'm able to create what I need to create in my business with that oil of cheer and creativity. And I'm doing it in a really positive, happy space. Let's see, and tangerine also helps with feelings of being optimistic. So that feeling of hope and moving forward are really great ones that are associated with tangerine. Another one that came up for me was one of the yoga collection. So doTERRA has a yoga collection and it comes in this sweet little box and it has 3 different oils that you can use when you're dealing with yoga. And the particular one that came up for me was Arise. So this one has, again, more citrus. We love our citrus. It has Melissa, which is really an oil that's really precious, and it is basically used for kind of figuring out what your purpose is. Hello, how are you? I hope you're having a great morning. Thank you for all the hearts. So with Arise, that one came up for me on my scan as well. Again, more citrus, it has Melissa in it, and in my diffuser, it just smells absolutely delicious. It smells divine. But the one thing with Arise, when you think about where you're trying to go with your goals, it's really going to help your vibration lift up and help you ultimately shoot for meeting those goals. It's going to help you bring that vibration up and try and align yourself with those goals so you're continuously moving toward what you're shooting for. Yes, Elise, I love Melissa and Arise. They're amazing. My other half put the Arise away somewhere for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. So when I was putting stuff in the diffuser every morning when I woke up, I really felt lost. And then I remembered that Melissa is in Arise. So I grabbed my Melissa instead and I threw that in there just to make sure I had that little piece of the Arise until I found it. And luckily, don't panic, I did find it. So that's in the diffuser now. Let's see, the other ones that I thought were really, really interesting that came up for me on my scan were Blue Tansy, the oil of inspired action. So there you go. There is the oil that's basically going to touch on this entire talk is the oil of inspired action. And Blue Tansy, be careful because when you use it, if you do use it topically, it is considered the Smurf oil because it temporarily turns your skin blue. It's kind of funny. Don't worry, it's temporary. It's going to come off. But generally, when I put it on topically, I put it on at night. So it's also kind of a sedative. It's a grounding one. And if I use it for sleep for my kiddos, we put it on the bottom of our feet at night. So we're not worried about showing up to school or showing up in a business sense as a Smurf. But with Blue Tansy, it's really going to help with feelings of procrastinating, feelings of resistance. That is a huge one for me because I tend to feel that right here. When I put walls up and I'm really like, oh, I really don't want to keep moving forward, I can feel it right here. And when I put Blue Tansy in my diffuser, I can feel that kind of start to move away. And so that resistance just gets pretty much pushed aside and I become this magnetic being where everything that I'm really looking for and all of my goals just start to run and rush toward me, which is a really cool feeling just by having this one oil in the diffuser. Let's see, Blue Tansy also touches on the positive feelings of feeling responsible for what you're trying to achieve and then also feeling motivated and purposeful. So that's a big one, right? Feeling purposeful in what you're trying to accomplish. Let's see. Yes, Andrea, it is in balance. Balance is another one that is honestly my daily go-to. And balance is basically going to calm your nervous system. It's really going to help get you grounded. It's actually considered doTERRA's grounding blend. And I use it on a very regular basis. Like I said, I use it daily. But just a side note with balance, did you know that with essential oils, when you put them on your skin, they can get into your bloodstream within 20 seconds. And with balance, studies have shown, and the video is awesome. So maybe I can find the video if anybody's interested, or pictures at least. But once it gets into your bloodstream, it actually starts breaking up your red blood cells. So then the red blood cells can more effectively and more efficiently deliver oxygen appropriately to the rest of your body. So you don't have these clumps of red blood cells trying to get through your vasculature, trying to deliver oxygen where they're needing to, not being able to, and thus creating temporary feelings of panic or anxiety. With this balance, it actually starts to smooth everything out. And the oxygen that's connected to the red blood cells is actually then able to get distributed on a more even basis. So not only is it really great kind of on a mental note, it actually really does affect your body on a physical note. So that's really fun. And Blue Tansy is in that one. So that's always a good one to have around, especially since Blue Tansy, again, is the oil of inspired action. And a couple other ones that I thought were really interesting, spikenard. So this one I tended to think kind of smelled like feet or like a garbage can or like garbage that needed to get taken out. I could not stand spikenard, but I had it just because maybe one day I might need it. And I scanned for spikenard, and honestly, my reaction was, oh, gross. How am I going to use this so that I can actually want to use it? Well, spikenard, and of course I looked it up in my emotions book, because anybody who knows me knows that I personally feel like all of our emotions manifest themselves on a physical level in our physical body. So first and foremost, whenever I scan for something or when I'm dealing with a situation, I always look to see what oils are going to connect to what emotions and why they might be, why our body might be reacting the way it is. Elise, not my favorite oil either. Yes, it's not my favorite. I remember at convention when they came out with spikenard, they had like smelling stations, and I couldn't even go near the smelling stations because I thought it was so gross. But I scanned for it. There was no way I was going to put it in the diffuser, so I put it on my person. And to be honest, the spikenard, when I put it on, was the most delicious smell I have ever encountered. And I have a feeling it's because my body was really wanting that one. And so it was really, it was an oil that was really, really attractive to me. It started to smell really good. I don't think this is one that you're necessarily going to want to take internally, but I pretty much could drink the whole bottle right now. It smells so good to me. And interestingly enough, spikenard is the oil of gratitude. Ta-da! So when you're getting to the point of not feeling necessarily like you are, you know, have a lot of motivation going forward, you're not quite sure what your next step is, when you focus on the feeling of gratitude, that all of those hows start to come to you. So when you're just focused on how do I want to feel when I am reaching my goals? How do I want to feel when I am, you know, when I'm in the flow, when I'm in the zone? Then things really start happening to you, as opposed to, oh, I'm not there yet. I feel like I have so much more to do. Then stuff doesn't really happen for you. But with spikenard, with the oil of gratitude, my gratitude, and honestly, my gratitude skyrocketed when I just saw that I called for the oil of gratitude. I was like, oh, of course. But when I'm feeling grateful for all of these oils that are in my diffuser or with spikenard on my actual body, and I'm getting to smell it while I'm meditating, my gratitude is through the roof. And I've noticed since I scanned for all of these oils, my body, it's more in the flow. There's less resistance. And I'm noticing that I'm getting my perfect clients. Just yesterday or 2 days ago, I reached out to someone who I thought would be an amazing person to work with oils. And she got back to me and said, oh my gosh, my husband and I were just talking about how we want you to come over and talk to us about oils. So, and that had never happened to me before. So just being grateful, getting to be present and in the moment with all of these oils that I'm scanning for has been a really cool shift for me, a really cool perspective shift. And then the last two that I thought were extremely interesting, the last two were Immortelle, which is our oil of, let's see, I wrote small here, oil of spiritual insight. So that one's a really great one for physically. It's a really great one to help with the appearance of wrinkles, to help with skin blemishes. But when you're thinking about kind of divine intervention and spiritual connection, connecting to our higher power and connecting to our energy and really accepting ourselves as the creator of whatever we're trying to create in this universe, that one's really going to help you as a physical being connect to whatever energy you might consider to be kind of the all-knowing, all-spiritual energy. So for me, it's the universe. And for some people, it might be God. But this one's a really great one for sitting down and really focusing on what is my purpose? What am I trying to accomplish? For me, I like to connect with, yes, for Reiki, it's awesome. For me, I like to connect with my spirit guides, and I know that does have to do a little bit with Reiki, but my spirit guides, and if anybody else listens to Abraham Hicks, the idea of the law of attraction, really connecting with everything that you're wanting in your life, that Immortelle, that blend of oils is really going to help connect and help you kind of figure out what your purpose is. And then the last one, which totally blew my mind, was HD Clear. And this is our blend that has to do with basically with acne or skin imperfections, temporary skin imperfections, scars, cuts. My kids have it just to use preventatively for any breakouts or anything like that. But I have, on a physical level, I've noticed that I've been breaking out like crazy. Not really sure why, but then this came up for me. So on a physical level, I was like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. But then on an emotional level, when you think about it, this is one that's really going to help with the idea of hiding. And then it's going to help promote being okay with being visible. So with this new year and with my resolutions, I knew that moving forward with my business, I had to be more visible. And I had to be okay with being on lives like today, or teaching more classes, or going out and talking to other people. Well, if I'm breaking out like crazy, it probably means that somewhere in my body, I'm wanting to hide. I'm not wanting to be visible. I'm not wanting to show myself. But that doesn't work when you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur. So for me, that totally made sense. And I knew that I had to be using this one. So I've been using this one topically on any skin imperfections that come up. That part's getting better, but I'm also getting to the point where I'm honestly wanting to get on a live every single day. And I just started my own YouTube channel where I put all my lives and any other videos that I'm putting out there. And I cannot wait to keep adding to that YouTube channel so that I have all of these oily informational videos. And again, that's totally new for me. This is totally a total perspective shift. So real quick, gonna go over all the ones that I chatted about. Red Mandarin as the oil of childlike perspective. Douglas fir as the oil of generational wisdom, so dealing with past patterns. Tangerine, the oil of cheer and creativity, so yummy. It smells like a big warm hug. Then we've got Arise, which is in the yoga collection for doTERRA, and that one has a whole bunch of citrus oils and Melissa oil. That one's going to help you lift up and meet your dreams where they are. Spikenard, the oil of gratitude, because when you're feeling like you're grateful, things start coming to you. Immortelle is the oil of spiritual insight. So that's helping with divine timing and hope and trusting the universe and trusting whatever's helping you hit what you're needing to hit in terms of your goals. And HD Clear, which is which is doTERRA's blend for skin blemishes and just having a persona that can meet the outside world in a really positive way. And that one helps with hiding, and it helps promote visibility, and it helps promote your confidence and helps promote being okay with that. And then the last one, basically the oil of inspired action, which is pretty much what this entire video touches on, is Blue Tansy. And that's going to be in doTERRA's Balance Blend. And it's also going to be in doTERRA's Deep Blue Blend. But on its own, Blue Tansy, the Smurf oil, so use it just at night if you're using it topically, is going to honestly help you move toward taking action and move toward motivation and move toward maintaining your creativity and your mental space when it comes to positively achieving your goals and hitting those New Year's resolutions head on without that feeling of resistance. And then one quick side note, when you do scan, because all of these oils are basically what I scanned for as I was hitting a wall with my New Year's resolutions, when you do get scanned for oils, I highly recommend using those oils that you scan for at least 30 days. So what we do in my family is we scan everybody every month, and then we use what we scan for an entire month. Now, I got sick a couple days ago and was able to get through it with different oils than I scanned for. But with these oils, these are pretty much, I'm using these as my emotional oils. So I'm putting them in my diffuser every morning, and I'm using them on my person every day if I'm not putting them in the diffuser, because there is such thing as a healing crisis. So you may hit a point where you feel like things are getting worse before they get better. And that's okay, because that's just your body's way of clearing out and processing any of the patterns or the emotions that these particular oils that you're scanning for are going to hit and deal with. So consider when you get scanned and when you're using oils for specific emotions, consider using them for a good solid 30 days or so, just to make sure that your body really incorporates them and starts creating new patterns for yourself. So I hope you guys have a really, really great Monday. Stay inspired. Keep moving towards your goals. There's no such thing as hitting a wall, because that's really just you hitting your own wall, right? And when you have these amazing tools and meditation and your miracle morning rituals, you are going to be able to move past those walls and hit any goals that you're looking towards. So I hope you have a great, great Monday, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.